EA is hitting the reboot button on the long-running Need for Speed franchise. The publisher has officially announced the latest game in the series, simply titled Need for Speed. It's a clean reboot that promises to shift the focus to urban car culture with an emphasis on gritty and realistic street racing, complete with more car customization than ever before. It also promises to be open world with an immersive narrative, but hopefully the story won't be too distracting. The new Need for Speed will race under the PS4, Xbox One, and PC this fall. It looks like Hollywood has some pretty old-fashioned and downright ridiculous ideas when it comes to age and gender. Maggie Gyllenhaal, who's appeared in big movies like The Dark Knight and stars in the Golden Globe-winning TV series The Honorable Woman, is apparently too old for men older than herself. Speaking with The Wrap, Gyllenhaal, aged 37, says that she was recently told by a producer that she was too old to play the love interest of a 55-year-old actor. She didn't name the producer, actor, or film, but many big movies do this sort of thing all the time. It's common to cast women in their 20s as the love interest of men in their 50s and 60s to help make them appear younger and more virile. Hollywood sexism in general has been a hot-button issue lately, with more and more people complaining about the lack of strong female leads in big movies. Some pretty big and interesting topics to talk about today. My pal Scott Jones is here.
He brought his interesting friend.
He brought your beard, your big interesting beard, along with you.
Beard,
okay.
Right. Yeah. So what? I can grow one. What of it?
Need for Speed coming back. It is back in a big way, and they've said we don't need any stinking subtitles. Now all we've seen is this trailer, this really early sort of glimpse at it, which is they're promising is actual in-game footage, and it does look like a movie.
We'll see.
Which is, I didn't see Aaron Paul pop up in this thing, so maybe there's no movie tie-in there. But Ghost Games did a really good job with Rivals, and then they took a year off to kind of reinvent everything here. So, you know, that's a studio out of Sweden that is comprised of ex-Criterion people. I know that there's some Vancouver Need for Speeders that have joined that, and there's some ex-DICE people over there as well.
It's kind of amazing that Need for Speed has been relevant for so long, and they continue to bring it back to life every time you think it's done. I thought Rivals was great. I think Ghost Games is a great developer. I think they're going to do a great job with this, and it's going to look even better than the last Need for Speed did, and certainly the last Forza game did.
Yeah, and I think you and I think especially, we kind of gravitate more to arcade racers when we review all of these things.
Through and through, that's us.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Two excitements.
We will see what happens. All right, now the other big thing is obviously a very big topic in all media, but in Hollywood for a long time, this sort of rampant sexism, a little bit of ageism sort of mixed in there. Maggie Gyllenhaal, you know, coming forward and saying she's had enough. This is ridiculous.
It is true. I mean, it's impossible to go to any movie at this time in our lives when you don't see an old guy who's basically about to go into an old age home dating a woman who's in her 20s. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, it's kind of a fantasy for me because I'm getting to be an older guy. I'm like, oh, maybe I can date, you know, younger women like that.
Well, it's a lie, and it's a stupid lie.
Yeah, it's a fantasy.
It's not a reflection of reality.
But how is that any different than, you know, Mad Max Fury Road? Like, cars can't do these kinds of things, and it's all fantasy, and it's just like, so what? The people who have the money are gonna create these fantasies for themselves.
Because this is half or more than half a segment of humanity, and they're being disparaged and denigrated and kind of cast aside.
I was just doing the counterpoint. I was just doing the counterpoint.
And it's not cool. It's not fair. But yes, I think it was cool that Maggie Gyllenhaal has come out and said something like that. And yeah, I want to see a lot more parody that's happening. But right now, it's time to have a little bit of fun. We've got Ant-Man coming up very soon, and we talk with the cast. The Rundown is brought to you by EB Games.